Kia ora, welcome to Taoroa. We hope you enjoy a quick journey around our awesome district and meeting some of the people who called Taoroa home or lived here in the past.
Kia ora tamariki mā and whānau. My name is Lyric Joy Turton. I am 10 years old and I live on Taoroa farm with my dad. Dad and I once went fishing and I went in the water and found this fossil. I was so excited and so pleased that I kept this fossil. And for the past few weeks, I have learnt that this whole area was underwater except the Kaimanawa and Ruahine ranges. They were like little islands.
Thanks, Lyric. We're also wanting to learn about other parts of Taoroa's history. We're learning that Taoroa is a place of huge significance for iwi and there are lots of places we want to visit.
Kia ora, my name is Ocean Ray Adams. I'm of Ngāti Whiti Kaupeka and today we're at Ngāti and behind me is once where a large cabbage tree stood. This tree was known because William Colenso had written about it and that the fact that it was so big. It was also known as a place of where people had stored their food. We are planning on fixing the fence around the cabbage tree which will hopefully help it to grow again.
Tēnā koutou, my name is Rimu Wipaki and I'm the son of Miss Taylor who is a teacher at Taoroa School. Here I am standing at the Matuku Pā site, which was the main pā site for Ngāti Whiti Kaupeka from the 1700s to the 1860s. Like a lot of you kids, I'm of Ngāti Whiti Kaupeka. It's a bit of a hike, but I'm looking forward to getting all you up here. Ka kite.
Thank you, Rimu. We've also been getting to know our neighbours and learning about our district history.
To help you get to know our neighbours better, can you guess who we are talking to first? His favourite colour is yellow, like a bulldozer. His favourite food is oysters and has too many favourite songs to choose one.
Can you guess who it is? We can give you some more clues. Hello, I am Bianca and I'm here with Mr. Collins to talk about Taoroa. Can you tell me about Taoroa history?
My grandfather came here in 1895 and he had this farm and the next farm. It was covered in bush, native bush, totara, mairi, matai, and it all had to be cut down before they could put sheep and cattle on it. When the surveyors came here in 1890, they couldn't get across the Mofonga River, so they cut down a great big totara tree which made itself into a bridge. And it was so big that when they flattened off the log, they could take a horse and a cart across it. So when I started to go to school in 1949, I rode a horse. And everybody else in the district rode a horse. And at the Taoroa school when I was there would have been up to 15 horses. And the horses just had the whole paddock to themselves. And when we had our lunch, if we didn't like our sandwiches, we would give them to the horses.
What was Taoroa School like when you went there?
All the buildings that are there now were not there. We just had the one square building with a little bit of concrete in front, and we had a play shed where we had our lunch, and we all had to sit in the play shed for 20 minutes to eat our lunch before we could get up and play. But there was nowhere to play because there was just a little bit of concrete. The rest of the grounds was just a big horse paddock. And our main game with us was to play marbles. Now marbles have gone out of fashion a little bit, but we had a special area at the back of the school where we had a marble playground. And in that playground we had 10 holes dug in the papa. 10 holes, you flicked your marble into each hole. The one who got to the end at the finish was the winner. The other game we played was knuckle bones, which were 5 little knuckle bones that you played with. You see them today, but it was a major sport in our day, and we always played with somebody else. And I became so good at knuckle bones, and so did everybody else, that you could put the 5 knuckle bones on the back of your hand the first time, just through practice. The first bus that we had in the district was when I was 10 years old. They got the very first bus, which was a funny little thing. It had seats for 4 people in the back and 1 seat beside the driver, and you couldn't take any more people than that. And I couldn't go on the bus because the bus was full by the 5 children that were coming from the Heora. So I had to continue riding. At that stage, I rode my bike. On the odd occasion, if it was very wet or someone couldn't get on the bus, they would ring me up and say, "Gordon, you can get on the bus today if you want to." But the bus was so weak that I had to get picked up outside Steph's place so it could get up enough steam, enough revelations to go up the hill.
Thank you, Mr. Collins and Bianca. Now we are going to meet another neighbour whose favourite colour is blue and favourite food is fish and chips and favourite song is In the Air by LAB.
Can you guess who it is? Hi, I'm Maisie and I'm with Papa Gordon. He's going to tell us all about Taoroa, and he's lived at Taoroa for nearly 70 years.
The oldest memory was when I asked my father when he was 90 what his first memory of Taoroa was, and he said setting off down the road to church in the horse and buggy, and they went round the first corner at the junction and they met the first car that ever came into Taoroa, and they were on the horse and buggy, and the horses shied and tipped the buggy over, and Dad remembers sitting on the side of the road with his governess, because they didn't have playgroups in those days, and while they righted the buggy, and then they headed off to church again, but he said they were a bit late.
What was the highlight of your school days at Taoroa School?
The highlight of the school days was definitely our Auckland trip. One of the best part of the Auckland trip was when we went out to Whenuapai Airport and hopped on a plane, because no kids of our age had ever been on a plane, and we put the seat belts on, and suddenly the plane took off, and it turned out that we did a 20-minute circuit of Auckland, and it turned out one of the parents had shouted us all the trip, and we still don't know to this day who it was. DC-3 outside McDonald's in Taupo is that very plane we flew on, and my brother remembered from our trip in 1964, he remembered the number ZKCAW, so if you want to, you can go and check it out for yourselves.
What was your most memorable pet day?
The majority of the children brought along their pet lambs and calves, and Malcolm Motana brought along a pet eel. At judging time, Malcolm put the eel inside his mouth to give it a kiss of love, and the eel latched onto his tongue, and we had to end up cutting the head of the eel off to release his tongue. So it wasn't a good result for Pet Day, but it wasn't all bad, because I think the family got to eat the rest of the eel for tea that night.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon. We've also had another special person talk about Taoroa. Her favourite food is pork with apple sauce, favourite colour is green, and she likes country and western music. 10 guitars is a favourite.
Can you guess who she is, or do you need some clues? Kia ora, I'm Hoiro, I'm here with Pat to talk about Taoroa.
Nanny Cat, why is Taoroa so special to you?
Well, firstly, it's where all my children went to their primary schooling and that sort of thing. Lots of good memories, a real family atmosphere here.
Nanny Pat, can you share some special memories with us?
140-hour famine, all the children that were at school, I can't remember how many, probably about 10 or 12 at the time, spent the lockdown part of the famine here at school, supervised by the teacher and his wife. And then when they were allowed to eat, everybody arrived with food and we had a big feed. Colin rode a horse to school and they had down here at the rugby field was the horse paddock for the day. I've heard stories that he used to get put on the horse here because he was too little to climb on, so the teacher would put him on the horse and he'd kick it and it'd gallop home. All he did was hang on.
E mihi mahana ki a koutou, nau mai, haere mai ki te kura o Mangako Tukutuku. Ko Atia Haunui a Paparangi te iwi, ko Unu ki te hapu, ko Ruapihu te maunga, ko Manganui o te ao te awa, ko Pat Rawako Colin tōku matua, and ko Bromwyn Haitana tōku ingoa, ko te tūmoaki I tēnei kura. So kia ora everyone, I'm Bromwyn Haitana. I am the principal of Melville Primary in Hamilton, and I was also a student at Taoroa. One of my memories is, the reason I'm standing out behind this tree is one of my memories is around the oak tree. When I was at school, there were a group of parents who wanted to cut down our school oak tree. And I remember as kids we had to explain whether we wanted the oak tree to be gone or not. So I decided that I would climb up into the oak tree and stay there sort of in protest against it being cut down. And I remember it was like 50% each way of people who wanted to cut it down because it was really untidy to tidy it up. So I remember spending time up in the tree being sort of trying to stop people from cutting it down, and we have the same problem with this tree, acorns and mess, but I'm one of the first people to now get out there and clean it up so that it doesn't get cut down. So that's one of my really cool memories about Taoroa School. And I suppose my other biggest memory is around the fact that it set me up for a really good baseline for education. I felt really empowered to be my own person, but I also felt really empowered to be a really strong leader. And I see it in students that I've got now, and I just want to say to the fellow students who are now at Taoroa and those to come that it doesn't matter what size school you come from, that we actually can really make a difference to the lives of the people that we touch. So be brave, be courageous, be a lifelong learner, and any dream that you have, it will come true. So yeah, so I love that school, I love that community, and I just wish everyone the absolute best.
Thank you to the Haitana family.
Our next special guest is a very close neighbour to our school. His favourite colour is red, his favourite food is meat and spuds, and he likes songs that you can hear the words to.
Can you guess who this neighbour is? Can you guess who this is, or do you need a clue or two? Kia ora, I am Teddy Wells and I am here with Mr. Law.
Taoroa is special to me because this is where I've lived all my life. And I like living here because it's nice and peaceful and quiet, good neighbours, and I'm not a city person, so I don't like lots of hustle and bustle around me.
What was Taoroa School like when you went there?
I had good memories of Taoroa School. Most of them involved getting into trouble or getting injured or something, but we had great times. There was the oak tree that's by the sandpit used to have a swing on it, and it used to swing out over the tennis court. And we used to think that was really good fun. But then one day, a good friend of my sister's fell off it onto the tennis court, cracked their head open, and so they took the swing away, which we weren't very happy about, but it was probably a wise move.
We also know that Taoroa is special to lots of people. Our next speakers are very special as they have 3 mokoporas at Taoroa School.
The first clue is someone who likes bright colours like yellow and orange. Favourite food growing up in Taoroa was her mum's roast dinners and chocolate wee big slices. And for music, she's in love with John Travolta and Andy Gibb. Our second special guest is someone whose favourite colour is red, like Taipei Rugby, whose favourite food is a proper farm mutton, and whose favourite music is by Prince Toiteka and the Howard Morrison Quartet. Can you guess who our special guests are? My name's Alkana and I'm here with my nan Lee and Koro Mason. Today we'll be talking about what it was like at Taoroa School for them. Do you have any special memories of Taoroa?
Lots of great memories, lots of fun times, happy times growing up with my friends, living the country life. It was absolutely awesome.
All my children went to the school over a period of 4 or 5 years. We were out there, and it was a great area, wonderful people, and yeah, we all lived in a happy environment out there.
We played bull rush down in the back paddock. We built a teepee. We had a little camp out and we made dampers. We went for lots of bushwalks. We went to Mokai area and we learnt how the Māori used to live off the land and what they ate. We learnt all about that. We saw the little glowworms in the little caves there. That was real special.
Martin Brinstrom was a very good school teacher. He loved hunting and sports and doing possums, and he always took my 2 boys with him a lot of times. One time, him and I and young Mason, we went eeling on an eeling trip from River Valley, which is called River Valley now. We went from there right down to the Mokai. We walked and swam the river where we had to, and we caught a big eel. If you like to read Mr. Brinson's book, there's a photo of the eel and Mr. Brinson and Mason hanging onto the eel. Was a 22-pound eel. And there's a story behind that eel. The following weekend was a big hunting sports program the following weekend, where the kids had to take pets and fish and whatever. And we kept that eel on the day, and it was the biggest eel there. And Colin Hightoner, who was another resident, had another eel there, and it looked big, but it was nowhere near as big as ours, and it weighed heavier than ours. And I questioned it. I said to Andy Grace, I said, "My God, mate," he was the judge. I said, "You'll have to have a look at this, bro. Look at that eel. It's nowhere near as big as this one, and it's heavier. What's the story here?" So he pulled a pocket knife out of his pocket and gutted the eel, and it had stones in it. Mr. Hightoner had rammed some stones down his belly to put on the weight.
Thank you to everyone who shared their stories. We know that there will be many more out there, so please let us know. Can't wait to explore the area more to learn all about it.
Kia hora te marino, kia whakapapa pounamu te moana, hei hura rahi mā tātou I te rangi nei. Aroha atu, aroha mai, tātou I a tātou katoa. May peace be widespread, may the sea be like greenstone, a pathway for us all this day. Give love, receive love, and let us show respect for each other.